Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jim. I just watched a movie called Somewhere Quiet. This is a 2024 film. It's like an hour and 42 minutes. It has uh, more mystery, thriller, slow burn kind of elements to it than it does horror. But I suppose the subject matter itself is kind of horrific. It has just average um, ratings on IMDb and reviews. It was directed and written by Olivia West Lloyd. It stars Michael Neeson as Joe, Marin Ireland as Madeline Whitman, and Jennifer Kim as Meg. Those are the main characters. I I like this movie, so I think I did a bad job of introducing my review because I think I made it sound like I was a little down on the movie. But it's good. It's a slow burn kind of movie. I really enjoyed the ominous music. They had like string kind of music in the background. I don't know how to describe it because I'm not very knowledgeable about musical instruments, what string instrument it was, but it was that very heavy, foreboding kind of mood setting music. And the movie is about if we're following a woman as she readjusts to normalcy after a kidnapping. Her sense of reality begins to deteriorate when she travels to her husband's family compound. They're just trying to get away to somewhere quiet. And craziness ensues. So we don't, we get an opening scene that's kind of shocking, very intense. And then it kind of drifts into what we think might be current day, or it is current day, but like the intro to the movie is a little misleading. Let me just put it that way. And um, so we're following. I don't know what her name is, Meg. We're following Meg as she's kind of reconnect with her husband after somehow. I'm not really sure that it's ever explained how she became not kidnapped anymore. But she's no longer kidnapped and she's with her husband, and they decide to go to his family. They call it a compound. I don't know. It's like a house, it's like a camp. And there is a bunch of these uh, houses on this lake that are like owned by extended family. And there's like weird backstory with his grandmother, and they do like a little backstory about Kim and her Asian background. And I don't know. I didn't pay a lot of attention to that because it seemed to be not really relevant to the tension of watching Meg kind of try to refocus herself and get back into um, normalcy, I guess is the word. You know, like what is normal. But they do a good job of showing the trauma of her kidnapping. We don't ever get a lot of background into the kidnapping. We do find out that her kidnappers had sent videos to her husband, um, and he says that he never got them. So there's some, you know, suspenseful, like, what's going on here? Like, it's a little suspicious. And then to make things even more suspicious on Meg's part is this hot cousin with red hair uh, comes and is also there, and she's like staying with her mother at a neighboring house. And all the while Meg is having like these visions of this older woman that's in the woods, like she sees in the distance. um, there's a lot of those moments of what's reality, what's not reality kind of things. There's a lot of imagery of being in the lake. Meg's deterioration is fun to watch for me. I love movies that do this. And she was already messed up to begin with, so this wasn't even like a real deep descent into madness. She was already a little cuckoo cuckoo, and she just gets more cuckoo cuckoo as we go, because through her eyes, and that's how the story is told. But we really don't know as a viewer if we are seeing it as it was. We're seeing it really through the lens of paranoia and suspicion and resentment and fear and like all the stuff that's going on with Meg, because why didn't her husband react to those videos? How is this woman already, here at the same time conveniently that they go visit, and just stuff is happening and it just keeps amping up, amping up. Meg finally gets to a breaking point. She pretty much is questioning very much the relationship between her husband and his cousin. And we get a moment in Meg where she just runs off. She's done. She's got to run. She makes it to town. She spends the evening at a bar, and kind of like bumps into a guy that she met earlier in the film who just was um, kind of also lives in that area and was warning her like, hey, you shouldn't be trespassing. And then she explained that, well, she's here with her husband. They were okay to be there. And he was like, oh, okay, my bad. But then they bump into each other again later at the bar. Um, and they have like some more back story. He tells her things that she picks up on about how often the husband had gone back to that house while she was missing. And she found that a little disturbing. Why wasn't the husband just actively looking for her or trying to resolve her being missing? And yeah, there was just a lot of stuff going on, and it was really good. And then it amps up. Meg kind of goes over the deep end. I wrote, "Oh shit, is Madeline even the cousin?" I wrote that. That was one of my notes. I was like, "Oh shit, is Madeline even the cousin?" Madeline is probably one of the best antagonists in this movie. I mean, she's clearly being portrayed as this wicked, uh, spoiled, well-to-do, person, and it plays off really well. The actress, I'll mention her name again because I really thought she was really good. Marin Ireland. She was the character who played Madeline. But yeah, this movie is really good if you like to watch kind of suspenseful movies. I don't even know that there's necessarily a twist at the end, but the ending is kind of shocking a little bit. All the performances are very, very good. If I had to pick like the weakest of all the performances, it would be the husband. He gets a little, I don't want to say overacting, but it's probably because we're supposed to not know if he's being truthful when he's having like these emotional breakdowns, stating to his wife Meg that he's just trying to reconnect and he's trying to save his marriage. So it's interesting uh, that he's probably, in my opinion, had the weakest performance, but it was a little overacted. But I think it was intended to be that way, so it's not necessarily a criticism. If you watch this, you'll see what I mean. But yeah, check this out. I can't remember where I saw this. It's definitely on streaming. I must have seen it on Amazon, I'm thinking, because it's very new, so I'm sure I paid like the $6.99 to watch that. But let me know in the comments down below how you feel about this kind of movie. If you're going to see it, I recommend it. It's good. It's definitely a worth a watch. It's not very horror. If you're looking for horror, it's not very horror. It's thriller and suspense and drama.
Row 18, plot 20.